3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. I'm Ash, and it is episode 129 of Storytime Live, coming at you live from my house over the magic of the interwebs to read you comics that you're too lazy to read yourself. Maybe. I don't know. Some of you probably have read a lot more than I have. But I'm glad to have you here. It's good to see you all. And Eric, I did see your post before you went to bed, so I know you're trying. But you can't escape my sight. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Corona Familiar. Yeah, it's good. It's good little beer. And I don't have any limes, but I have some real lime juice, so put a couple drops in there. Yep. That hits the spot. Hopefully you guys are having a good beverage and ready for tonight's stream with some stories. Let's go ahead and set the timer. 35 minutes, because I'm usually a little bit late, so I don't want to readjust my timer. It's a pain in the ass, so 35 minutes is good. I've already lulled Eric to sleep, it seems like. Let's go ahead and see who's first. Melissa is first. I am not surprised, but happy to see you. Ronnie is also in the house, coming in second, and FF2 is third. Dragon Majesty, good to see you as well. Dominic Powell's in the house, and also Tehillim is in the house. I was hoping I don't drown. That's very nice. I have a really big fear of drowning. I don't want to drown. I've been watching these World War II documentary things on like History Channel. Well, not on YouTube, but it's a History Channel YouTube. And I'm kind of a sucker for old war history stuff, and I've been watching the war in the Pacific from World War II. Very fascinating stuff. And man, I just get the chills all the time. I'm like seeing like ships sinking and things like that, and it's like, or like pilots crashing at sea, and just being like, God, horrible. Like to go that way. It's one thing to get hit by a bomb and you're just obliterated instantly. I mean, that sucks. But that's the way I'd rather go, not sitting, my plane ditches at sea and I drown. Oh my God. And then I was watching this part where these one pilots were in the Battle of Midway, and these one torpedo bomber, I guess, had tried to attack one of the Japanese ships, and then their plane stalled out or something happened, and they had to ditch in the sea. And the torpedo bombers have two pilots, and so they had their little life raft, and they're just chilling in the water. But they're out where the Japanese Navy was, not really where they could easily be rescued. So they end up getting picked up by the Japanese. And the Japanese, weren't too happy that they were, I guess, have their boat getting torpedoed. So they tied a rope around their ankles and tied some heavy weights to it and just dropped them overboard. And I was like, geez Louise, man. It's like, the rest of the world is not necessarily as civil as Americans. I was like, God, how horrible. Especially, I could kind of understand it maybe if we had just bombed the hell out of Japan unprovoked, and they're just like, those damn Americans, we're going to get them. But they literally came in and kicked in our teeth. And then they're pissed off that we retaliated. I don't know why I'm laughing at the idea that these two guys died. It really got to me. I was like, just damn. And the things these guys, man, some heroic actions. There was a battle of, I forget the name of the battle. It was a prelude to like the biggest sea battle in world history. One of the islands out in the Pacific, kind of near Australia. And the American carrier group had just driven off the Japanese. And then the Japanese they lured the American fleet north by deploying some carriers, and the carriers were like empty. They didn't even have like the Japanese didn't even have any more planes. They had been doing so many kamikazes and stuff, but they lured the Americans didn't know that. They just see the carriers, and the Admiral Halsey was just so like sees red. It was just like a pit bull, and he immediately takes the fleet north because he had driven off the Japanese and left this island, which is like one of the most strategic islands. I can't remember. I'm not gonna go bother to look it up right now, but so he leaves. But the Japanese, really smart, their fleeing was a feint, and the carriers that were coming up from the north, that led the fleet away. They turned their fleet around and came back and attacked, and the Americans had only left like a couple of destroyers, and I think some frigates, like these really small ships there. And the Japanese were bringing this big battleship armada, which included the Yamato, which is one of the two biggest battleships ever built by man, even today. Like, they had already sunk in the Musashi earlier, the Americans did, but the Yamato is still up. And so the Americans just had like a couple of destroyers. And freaking, wouldn't you know, one of the commanders of these destroyers, instead of fleeing, this commander's like, he just takes his ship into the fleet. And his whole thing was, I got some torpedoes. Maybe I can get some lucky strikes, with these destroyers quick. And he kind of inspired the rest of this little small ragtag fleet. And so the other destroyer captains were like, well, fuck it. They charged in too. And there was a couple of like escort carriers, which are like really, really small little carriers. And they had to flee. So they were trying to get away. And they caused so much havoc that they forced the Japanese Navy to turn around. Like, and the whole time afterwards, like, it's like, man, the sheer overwhelming force, this whole American fleet would have been destroyed, but they caused so much damage, and the few planes that the little escort carriers were able to launch caused so much havoc. They didn't really like sink a ton of ships and stuff, but they were causing a lot of damage, and the Japanese were led to believe that there was actually bigger forces out there that they couldn't see. And I was like, that is some serious fucking balls. It's very inspirational. And, you're like, Ash, why are you talking about World War II history? Well, I'll tell you why. Because number one, you just talked about drowning. You got me thinking about it. But number two, it's about heroism. And the reason I love comics is heroism. I think heroism is an amazing thing, and I think that's something we all should admire. And I know comic book heroism is fictional, right? Superman doesn't exist, and it's all just made up. But stories still have a way of, letting your imagination fill in the blanks for, fact. Stories of these soldiers obviously are much greater because they're real, but it's the same thing that leads to my joy. I like stories of heroism. So anyways, hopefully you can relate to that. And if not, then I'm moving on. Let's see. Is anyone reading anything good? Says FF2. Wait, did I go down too much? Yeah, no. Is there reading anything good? I'm going to read through the entirety of Criminal pretty soon. I've been putting off that series for a while, along with Kill or Be Killed and The Fade Out. Well, FF2, surprise, glad that you mentioned that. I do a podcast with 3 co-hosts, Eric Breen being one of them, Skip and Tosh, and Nalo. We do Criminal Cast. I don't know if you've seen it. Hopefully you have. And we cover all of the Ed Brubaker criminal books and all of the independent books that are criminal adjacent, I guess. Is how you would say it today. We've done 3 episodes so far, and the 4th episode is going to be tomorrow. So definitely recommend read the books along with us. The episodes come out sporadically. They're not regularly scheduled because we got a bunch of people doing the show and stuff. But the idea is to just celebrate our love of these books and our love of Ed Brubaker. And everyone on the podcast is much more knowledgeable than I am. I've kind of discovered Ed through these guys, so it's really fun for me to do it with them and get to you know, become this big fan that I am of these books, because they're all amazing. We've done Reckless, and we've done the first 2 trades from the official Criminal line. So Criminal Coward, Volume 1 Coward, and Volume 2 Lawless. And tomorrow we're going to be doing Cruel Summer. And that is the 2019 run of Criminal, so we're kind of skipping ahead. I have allowed it to be a democracy, so I let the other guys vote what they want to do instead of me dictating. And Cruel Summer was the vast majority. Everyone wanted to do Cruel Summer, so hard be it to me. Okay, I was going to do Criminal all in order, but whatever. You don't have to read these books in order. Cruel Summer is something you should look forward to. Hopefully you can read it before tomorrow's cast and you can make it. And yeah, and then you don't have to like blast through them all. Just read them with us. The next book we're going to do after Cruel Summer will be the second book in the Reckless line, which comes out. It comes out May 4th in the book market, but I think it comes out a week or 2 early in the direct market, which is comic book shops. So depending on where you get your stuff, you might get it. It might be out this week or next week. I'm gonna see. I'm really looking forward. The first Reckless book was fantastic. It's not officially a criminal book, but it's absolutely like in the same vein, genre. I believe it might even be in the same world that they write. I found out it's a fictional world called Central City, and the difference between Reckless, I guess, and the main criminal books is that the main character of Reckless, first of all, he's a recurring character. The criminal books have different characters, but also he's kind of a good guy, whereas the criminal books are all low down, dirty criminals. But it's all the same. Sean Phillips art. I mean, if you like Criminal, you're gonna like Reckless, and they're really good. They are only available on original graphic novels, by the way. Currently only in hardback. So if you want to get the first Reckless, if you haven't got it already, you can get it on Amazon right now for $15. And I highly recommend it because it's like 6 comics worth of material. I think I mathed it out, the number of pages and stuff. So it's like a full 6-issue series. And if they're like $4 a piece, that would be $25, which is what the MSRP is. But you're getting a nice hardbound book. It's beautiful. But if you get on Amazon or someplace discounted, like I said, you can get on Amazon right now. If you have Prime, it's free shipping. It's $14.95. Yeah, you can get it real quick and then get it right in time. The next Reckless book, there's 3 of them in the works. There might be more, but I very much enjoy those. So come join us. Spoken long enough about that. Dragon Magic says he just bought the Eternals omnibus to see if it's good before the movie comes out. What? That's crazy. How much did that omnibus cost you? You just bought a random omnibus. Like, oh, let's see if this is good. Those Marvel omnibuses are expensive as F. AF. Wow. Well, hope it's good, buddy. And which one did you get, too? Did you get the old school one from Jack Kirby or the more modern Eternals stuff? I believe also Neil Gaiman did an Eternals book a while back. Let's see. Melissa's here. Good to see you, Melissa. Back from wherever you were when you came in and stole first place. Did you go to McDonald's? I know you like to go to McDonald's a lot. You're like, come in, take the number 1 position, and then go grab food. Hey, I can't blame you. I went and got food today. My room smells like tacos. I went to my favorite Mexican place out here in San Diego called Sombrero. It's called Sombrero, Mexican food. And I love this place, a little taco shop. It's been around for decades. And they're like a big franchise. Well, I don't know if they're a franchise, but they're a big chain now. They're all over San Diego. And I think there's even a few in LA. And their whole spiel is that they're San Diego style Mexican food, which I'm not going to try to explain to you, but it's good. Anyways, I got a carne asada taco and a carnitas taco because it's Taco Tuesday. It's $1 off tacos. And if it wasn't that the food was good enough, which it is fantastic, they have the best like customer loyalty program of any restaurant type of place I've ever gone to. Like I'm constantly getting free food. So I had like a free taco. You just, you don't even need a card. You just enter your number and they just give you points. And you've probably used stuff like this before. So every time you go, so I had a free taco. Then I bought a taco at $1 off. So it was like $3 for my meal tonight. And then I entered my my phone number to get my loyalty stuff. And then they like, oh, here's a free drink. And I was like, well, can I use it now? They're like, sure. So I got a free drink on top. My whole meal tonight was like $3. Yeah, delicious. I love that place. And so now, I ate it here on my desk, and my hands smell like carnitas. It's making me hungry again. Let's see. Green Arrow felt like Batman to me in Arrow. It just didn't feel like Green Arrow. It was. Green Arrow was totally some showrunner's desire to do a Batman show, but they didn't have the ability to do Batman. So like, we'll just turn Green Arrow into Batman. Oh my goodness. Okay. Through the Eric Breen banter, he's asleep. Telam says, oh, didn't know it had moved into Ash on Chimichangas moment. Chimichangas are good too. I like chimichangas, but if you get a chimichanga at a taco shop out here, they're huge. So you got to be hungry for one of those. Ash must have left the stream. Did I leave the stream? You can't hear me? You better be able to hear me. Now I'm all nervous. Yeah, okay, I hear the stream. So I was having some, you guys know, you guys have been following me. I've been having some issues with my streaming and stuff. We addressed most of the internet issues, so it seems more reliable. But another thing that I noticed is a long time back, I had switched my live streams on YouTube. There's like 3 different variants of latency. And so I had switched on to low latency. And what that means is the amount of time when I broadcast out to YouTube, the amount of time it takes for you guys to like hear it. And normally it's like an 8 to 10 second delay. So if I say something like, and if I like ask you a question, I got to wait like 8 to 10 seconds for you to hear it. And then you got to type. So like oftentimes it's like a 30-second turnaround. And it's tough to interact with an audience that way. So I turned down to low latency, which is supposed to be like, half that time. And I was like, okay, cool. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more real time, but it's a lot more sensitive. So I switched it back to the regular, and hopefully that's going to make the streams more reliable. And you don't give a crap about it. I was just bored to crap at everyone. Let's see. Dragon Majesty says, with your World War II interest, you should read Uber by Karen Gillan. Uber by Karen Gillan, you say? Huh. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Let's switch over. Uber. This must be it right now. Now, I gotta admit, so far, I'm not a big Karen Gillan fan. Haven't read a whole lot of his stuff. But I did read 2 of his books that people freak out about, which is Die and Once and Future. And I was like, so I don't know. But this looks interesting. Now, I have to say, the reason I like the World War II stuff, number one, is because it's history. I think history is interesting. So you can't really replace that with fiction. Number 2, I like it because the stories are heroic. Well, not all the stories are heroic, but I like the heroic stories of there. I just saw like a free. Wait a second. Is this bait and switch? I clicked on here. Free. The first cycle. Free comp. Okay, well, I will check it out. See, look. This is what happens when Tehillim comes in and recommends, so now I can get a free comic. And you can too if you go to comiXology.com, Uber, the first cycle free comic day edition. It's yours for free. You get lots of free comics here, so I'll give that a look. See. All right, I'm back. So yeah, here I'm talking about my stream, and I just had to pause. Sorry about that. I just read Geiger, and I liked it. I really liked it, said FF2. All right, cool. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I did a video on it. If anyone's interested in more details, I won't really go too much on it here. But it is on my pull list, and it's not on my pull list based on my love of the first issue. It's on my pull list because I enjoyed the first issue and because Jeff Johns is a winner to me. So I'm going to give this book a solid chance before I make a judgment call on it, because it feels very much like it's written for the trade. So it's hard to judge it on just one issue. Sadly, that's the way that it is. But I'm not really upset because I'm willing to be committed to more than one issue. So we'll see how that goes. And also because DC's said, Ash, we know that you want to get more comics. So tell you what, why don't we basically ruin everything about DC so you don't have to worry about buying. We'll take away everything you love about DC so you can free up. We can have an amicable divorce. And you can, go flirt around with the independent books. And I was like, all right, DC, that's fine. Especially since your prices are going through the roof. You go have fun with that. And, Jeff Johns was responsible for making me a DC fan. And I guess Jeff Johns will be responsible for keeping me happy after I've left DC. So, screw you, AT&T. I'll drink to that. Damn, this beer is good. Externals Omnibus is $125 retail. Oh, jeez Louise. Old school Jack Kirby one. I'm a good customer though, so I got a discount. Yikes. Well, at least you got the Kirby one, so you got something classic. Cool. I hope it's a good discount. This is expensive. You can get the entire East of West series that Skip and I are doing on the Unnamed Indie Comic Show. You can get the entire series on the deluxe premium hardcover things for that price. All three of them combined for that price right now on Amazon. So I'm like, ooh. All right. But those omnibuses can be pretty thick. So it's quite a lot of stuff. Dragon Match says Uber is about the Nazis creating superhumans at the end of World War II. It's typical Nazis. That's what they do, right? They're always doing superhuman stuff. Die had a good concept, but the execution, I'm for it, says Indie Comic Jones. Hey, and I am not knocking anyone that is. It was a very popular comic. People loved it. I went into it with all that hype because everyone's like, oh, Die, it's the greatest thing, and I just like, I read the first 6 issues here actually on Storytime Live. I don't remember the episode numbers, but we went through the first 6 issues here. And it was okay. It was okay. But I'm glad I only bought the issues for $1. Let me just say that. I got them on an image sale for $1 an issue. And I was like, I bought them. I was thinking I was going to like the series and keep going. But the concept was all right. I don't know, there's something about Kieran Gillen's writing style that doesn't jive with me. It's not necessarily that the stories are bad or his concepts are bad. I don't think he's a terrible writer. There's just something there that just nags at me, and it maybe other people don't have a problem with that. It's just it's purely, I think, a taste thing. Eric says, can anyone not hear Ash? You don't hear me now? Let's see. I got to test. All right, so sound test check. And man, having this iPad here on a separate account is really handy when you don't have a co-pilot. I'm looking at you, Eric. Just kidding. I like to give Eric shit about never wanting to collaborate with me anymore because he hates me. FF2 says, I really hope you check out Berserk because that is a series that puts hair on your chest. Great manga. I'll check out Berserk someday. Let's see. Berserk. I've kind of wanted to check it out. There's so much of it. It's good Lord. This is one of those mangas that just went on for eternity. I miss the old days of manga when it was like, here's like 12 volumes. We're done. Nowadays, everything's got to be like the most epic. Like, how many volumes of One Piece are there now? Like, not that I want to read One Piece, but I mean, it's just stupid. I guess I wouldn't complain if it was American comics, but that's because American comics, or at least they used to be, designed that you could just jump in anywhere. But manga is really more of a cohesive story. You're supposed to jump in at the beginning. It's just a different animal. I know a lot of people are really passionate about Berserk, so I should check out. Let me ask you a question, though. Let's see. Was it FF2? Yeah. FF2, or anyone else can answer. If I... Let me see. Give me a half second here. I'm prioritizing my device on the network. See if that helps anything. So yeah, you guys can hear me now. All right, so go back to my question. If I read the first volume of Berserk, will this give me enough information to judge the book, whether it's for me or not? Or do I have to read beyond this to know? It's an important question because some books really take a real big investment for you to appreciate how great they are. I'm not sure and I get intimidated that way. So let me know. If I read this one, it's 227 pages, will I know? So get back to me on that after the delay. Indie Comics says I can hear Ash, Maranya. Okay, Maranya already said. So welcome, Indie Comic Jones, by the way. I don't think I said hi yet. Now it's the Circle of Doom for him. Thanks, Maranya, for bringing the circle. Actually, Eric's probably hacking me because I say bad things about him, and then I get hacks. I get hack sword. Isn't that how the kids say it? Speaking of hacks, let's go on to sales. Let's see what's going on in Comixology sales. There's a Spider-Man Life Story sale. Oh my God, it's $2. Get this. Spider-Man Life Story. $2? Come on, man. Serious. Yeah, this is the best mainstream comic I have read since getting back into comics. I would argue that this might be the best mainstream comic in 20 years. It's certainly the best Marvel comic. I'd like to talk about how modern comics has just taken a dive off a cliff, and there's just no classics anymore. We look at modern comics, and a lot of people are happy with modern comics, and that's fine. You can enjoy whatever you like. But seriously, think about in the last 20 years comics that are out there. What's the next? Like, what in the last 20 years is going to be held up to things like Infinity Gauntlet or Kraven's Last Stand, or Kraven's Last Hunt, not Last Stand, Kraven's Last Hunt, Marvels, Kingdom Come, the Watchmen or Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, Daredevil Reborn. I'm trying to think of these mega classic books. There's more. But in the last 20 years, past 2020, like, what is there? It's ghost town. Very few and far between. And that's one of the differences between today's era versus the past. There is certainly good books out today. Certainly good books. Chip Zdarsky is writing my second favorite Daredevil that I've ever read behind Frank Miller. Now, there's a lot of Daredevil that I haven't read, and Eric's probably crossing his eyes and smashing his head into a bedpost right now, but it's not to downplay necessarily. I guess maybe it is a downplay, I think, but what I'm trying to say is there is good stuff out there today, but there's great stuff is wanting. But the Spider-Man life story is I was talking to Skip the other day about this book, and let me tell you, the worst thing about this book is the art, and it's Mark Bagley. And I was like, and Mark Bagley is like, once upon a time was a popular Spider-Man artist. And I think he's fine. I think he's fine for your standard run-of-the-mill monthly book. But this book is so great that I was like, it needs a top artist. This needs like the Alex Ross treatment. I love this book. Chip Zdarsky just hit a home run. And now Marvel's going to milk it to death once they get the Fantastic Four life story. I forget who's writing that. Hopefully it's not Dan Slott. It's someone lame. Anyways. So, you guys still here in the chat with me? I can't tell. I'm getting all nervous. But yeah, get this book. Get it. $2. $2. What else is on sale? Oh, look, get you some Captain Marvel. Your life isn't complete without these forgettable books. Oh my God. What else is here? A bunch of DC stuff. Look, I know that the old school Disney comics have a lot of fans, and I'm not talking anything negative about them. I'm sure they're great, sure they're classics, but seriously, these things are like borderline public domain. Like, and you're going to sell them. Normal price is $20. Come on. You've made so much money on these. 200 pages for $20 of comics that are ancient. Now, if I had the physical book, I might get that because maybe it's got a nice binding and they look, the price of printing books isn't cheap. I get that. But for the digital copy, they should be $9.99 like normally. Like, that's even that. Like, this is old. You're just reprinting shit out of your trash. Like, I don't know. This stuff annoys me. Doctor Who, Atomic Rogo, Black Hammer. Man, bottom of the basement stuff down here. Oh, Boys is great. Invincible, I'm thinking about picking back up again. This is a book I did on the Storytime live stream. The first 6 issues. So this one here, Family Matters, I read on the live stream. And it was okay. I liked it sort of. Ronnie really liked it. And a lot of people really like it. And a lot of people tell me Invincible it gets better. Like and so I love Robert Kirkman. Everything I've read of his, this is like the least favorite thing I've ever read. But now that the series is out on Amazon Prime, I've been finding myself like really looking forward. I want to like read more. Like I've watched the latest episode and I'm like, I want to see more. And I have all of it's available right here, 50% off. Or you can read the first 10 volumes on Unlimited. So these are great prices. These what are these compendiums? There's like 50 comics each in these compendiums. So these are like essentially omnibuses for $17.99. That's super cheap. In fact, you can get the whole Invincible series in 3 volumes right here. So are you guys enjoying the Invincible series? Let me know. And boys, I already have all the boys stuff. So Dragonman says, I like Bagley's art. What do you want? Da Vinci? Well, sure. If you can give it to me. Although Da Vinci really wasn't a comic book artist. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like I despise Bagley. Although I think he gets a little bit too much praise. I was like, look, I like to tell people, like, look, slow down. Mark Bagley. Oh, there's my alarm. Mark Bagley only basically got a career because he was third on the bench and McFarlane and Larson went off to Image. And so Marvel was like, you rookie, get on Spider-Man. It's like, and he made lemons out of lemonade. What are you going to do? He became the best Spider-Man artist because the previous best two all left. But I've always thought he was a second fiddle to those two guys. But even then, I really wouldn't want McFarlane or Larson on this book either. I don't know who I'd want. I just feel like it should be something really extraordinary because the book is so extraordinary. Imagine a book like Kingdom Come with but replace the art with Mark Bagley. Would it still be a good story? Yeah. But it wouldn't have that feel of like, this is one of the best books ever made type things, right? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm getting at. All right. Let's get into the comic. FF2 says, is it worth reading? It's worth reading because of the payoffs. The first volume and the first page of the chapter 1 catches you off guard. Mysteries in the series keeps you drawing back in. I guess you're saying about Berserker. Okay. What I was asking is the first volume enough to make a proper judgment of whether the book is for me? Like, oh, well, you'd have to delete your comment. If I read the first volume and I'm like, it's okay, it's not really for me. I know that there's some things where, like I personally read, I'm like, look, just give it a little bit of time. Like read through the first two. By the time you get to the third volume, it's going to be amazing, or something like that. I just want to know ahead of time because I'm willing to give things a chance, but not too much of a chance. Anyways, so we are going to be reading Aquaman tonight. This is from the Rebirth era. The beginning of the Rebirth era. This is by Dan Abnett. He wrote Aquaman all the way through issue 43, I want to say. And this is a series that I had bought because so many people were saying, oh, Ash, when I got back into comics in 2018, I was a Marvel guy my whole life. And Marvel was just terrible. And so I was like, I'm going to try out DC. And people were like, oh, Ash, you got to try out Aquaman. And I was like, oh, roll my eyes. Really, Aquaman, Fish Boy? And they're like, no, man, you like Game of Thrones. You should check it out. It's got a lot of that political intrigue and a lot of world building. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like underwater, like a lot of artistic opportunity there. And so some people I knew, based on what they're saying, I was like, I'm going to try this out then. Comixology had sales. That's one thing that I love. I think I picked up all the the first 4 trades. I think I picked them up for like $5 a piece. So I have the first 4 trades. But lo and behold, as a procrastinator I am, they just sat and collected virtual dust, and I didn't read them. And now I'm like, you know what? I need to read these because I really intended to. I bought them, and so here I am. And so far, I'm really liking it. And this is one of the fringe benefits of doing this show is it lights a fire under my ass. Forces me to read the stuff, and then I can keep going because now I'm into it. So hopefully you're enjoying this. This is book 5 and 6. This will be the last episode for this series, completing the first volume trade paperback called The Drowning. And disclaimers, I repeat, I am not a professional voice actor. And number 2, I have not read this book before. So it's a cold read. And based on the way that I read the book, which is panel to panel and not full page, sometimes it's difficult to tell who's talking, where the word balloons are going. mess up voices occasionally or just stutter over my words. So I apologize beforehand if that hinders your experience. I will promise to do better once I get a raise. Meaning I don't get paid for this, but enjoy all the same. Hopefully you enjoy. Comments are welcome. You guys put in your feedback of books if you want. Talk amongst yourselves. Make sure you got a nice drink. Maybe get some popcorn or chips or your favorite snack. I like baby carrots. Baby carrots are pretty good. Or gummy bears. Gummy bears are really good. All right, here we go. Part 5, Executive Sanction. Dan Abnett writer, Philippe Briones artist, Gabe Eltabe colorist, Papriso letterer. Control, we have the fugitives in our sights requesting immediate instruction. Is lethal force approved? Control, hot or not? Weapons hot, gun dog. You are cleared to fire. Copy that, Control. Hillcrest, Department of Homeland Security, Holding Facility, Washington, D.C. Wait, there's no reason. Mira, God. Look. They'd gun us down like animals? Mira. Thumped. Skrank. Holy crap. Good day. Paff. Whew. Tka! Gun dog, do you copy? With thunk. Breep. Rotor sheared, we're dead. Gun dog. No one dies, Mira. You did an oopsie. Sorry. No one. Gun dog, do you copy? Gun dog. Look at that. Yeah. Aquaman catching a helicopter. I think these Americans would beg to disagree. I don't know why, but I find comical ragdoll imagery, which is kind of what this is. Basically, a ragdoll is like a body, but there's no, it's like dead. It's just flopping around like when you punch people and you just see them flying around like a bunch of ragdoll. I don't know why. I find it humorous. I will not allow them to murder my intended. When I said no one, my love, I meant no one. You tell her, Aquaman. Don't take any lip from her. Not them, but not us. Damn, that was some manly Aquaman. I gotta take a drink. That is something you will not see today. You will certainly not see it in Kelly Sue DeConnick. That was some serious Y chromosome shit. Oh, wow. She's like, but loved it. Sorry if you're, I don't know. I think, Marania, you could probably, I don't want to speak for women because I'm not one. But you're a woman. And you as well, Melissa. You're another woman that I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but women like strong men, right? I imagine that's the case. Anyways, moving on. White House Situation Room. Major Sherman, what's happening? One moment, Mr. Gantry. Fearless, what is your sit? They just took off control. They took the hell off. Launched like missiles. I didn't think they could fly. Swim, yes. I think it's more like leaping, Mr. Gantry. Might as well be flying, the distance they cover. I've spoken to POTUS. They need to be stopped and contained. With respect, I want to query the authorization of lethal force, Mr. Gantry. It feels wrong. He's Justice League. He's the commander-in-chief of a hostile nation. He's authorized acts of aggression against the U.S. He's just broken out of detention. He's a terrorist. And just for the record, I'm chief of staff. You get this done. Sir. Yes, sir. Lose the tone, Major. It's not like he's an important member of the League. He's not a beloved icon like the Big Blue or the Amazon. He's the fish guy. He's there to make up the numbers. He just happens to be the most dangerous. Control, targets reacquired about 2 miles short of the Potomac. Copy that. They're heading for the water. Of course. Put them down hard, Major. Mr. Gantry, sir, the President. This is Control. Engage. Sanction authorized. Sir? Yes, Mr. President. I think you should make that call. Yeah! Stay with me, Mira. We've got to. Man, we gotta pause here for a second. This is a nice full page spread. This is gotta hand this to the artist, man. I like all the detail in here. Really appreciate it. Tongue blat. That. Oh, hell. Gah. Arthur. Phoom. Tanks. You either want to put us in them or kill us with them. Yow! You scrambled something. There's a lot of water in their war machines, the engines, the weapon system. Correction. Was. You're angry with me? Just concentrating. No, you're angry. You don't like the fact that I brought this on us, that I freed you. Mira. Sometimes we won't agree on everything, Arthur. You have to be all right with that. I was trying. Your way, it didn't work. These people will not be reasoned with. They see us as enemies. You can do more to resolve this if you're free than you can incarcerated. We'll never know, will we? So you are not okay with it. What does this mean? Is our betrothal off? This is not the time for a conversation, Mira. But for the record, yes, I still want to marry you. I just want us to be alive on the big day. Atlantis. Captain Ciron? My Lady Regent, Commander Merck and the Drift have managed to break free of the American Navy at the wreck site. The American Navy is in pursuit, but they will not outpace the Drift. Thank the deep. De-escalation is precisely what we need at this hour, and, my lady, there is also this. We have intercepted U.S. military transmissions. Our King and Lady Mira are being harried by significant U.S. military forces near the city called Washington. They have been expressly commanded to kill them. Dear gods. Mobilize the war fleet. Meanwhile, in Antarctica. Sir, this is Black Manta. Ah, the infamous Black Manta. Blackjack here informs me that you would make a fine addition to the inner circle of Nemo. You're the Fisher King? Just a title. I am Lord of the World. I have power and influence beyond your imagination. Tell me why I should give you a share in it. You're thinking too small, Fisher King. I can show you how to think bigger. Amnesty Bay. You shouldn't be here. Erica Watson, Amnesty Bay PD. I have orders to lock down the lighthouse. I don't know what Arthur's done now. I mean Aquaman. You know him? Sure, he's a good guy, part of the community. I don't know what's going on. My boss got a call from some guy in D.C. I had to come over and feed the dog anyway, so... Never mind that. Who are you? Lieutenant Joanna Stubbs, Royal Navy. I won't get in your way. I heard he lived here, and, well, if you see him, could you give him this? Come on. From here, we can reach the They got drones in the air. I hear aircraft, too. If we go airborne, they'll hit us with munitions, even that we can't shrug off. So what do we do, Arthur? Punch our way to the water? Thump. Sounds like your kind of plan. Oh, you can be very annoying at times. Sarcasm does not become the king of Atlantis. Maybe we shouldn't be married if you're going to treat me like... Oh, wait, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't be married if you're going to treat me like Mira. I mean it, Mira. Shrunk. Stop it. Oh. Good advice. Hello, Arthur. I think we should talk. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. All right, that is the end of issue 5. Ronnie says the art is simple yet detailed at the same time. It definitely gets the point across. Yeah, the art in this is great. I mean, this isn't your top level like premier artist, but it's super quality. Let's just say, I can't really complain in an ongoing book to have art of this level. And Ronnie says, I prefer strong men. Yes, there we go. You heard it here first. Chief of Staff is an ass. He's acting way too big for his britches. Yeah, it's a little tropey. I don't think the American government would be behaving this way, especially to the Justice League member who's been complying. Like, I think everyone's like really just trigger happy, but there could be motives that we don't know. Who knows? Maybe there's Starro behind the scenes mind controlling people. I don't know. So we'll have to see how that goes. But it's making for a fun comic. That's why I got to say this whole sort of like trip to the river going through the military, and the banter between Arthur and Mira, I find is pretty entertaining. This is my favorite issue of this series so far. Ronnie says, this is the way to have two people in a relationship talk. Kicking butt and talking at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I like that Arthur can talk to Mira. I like that he can put his foot down, but he never talks down to her. He never treats her like she's beneath him. But at the same time, sometimes one person has to take charge. And in this case, it's Aquaman, and he puts his foot down, and it's just... And then she... I hate to use the word submit, because that triggers people. But she submits, and that's... I don't know. When you have a Y chromosome, I think that's... It's an attractive quality. Man, I'm out of beer now. All right. So what do you think of Superman showing up? I guess it was a spoiler since I put the last issue as the cover. This is the conclusion. Out of his league. This time it's Brad Walker as the penciler. Oh, this must have been the time when they were doing everything bi-weekly. That's why the artist is switching off. I'll bet you that's what the case was here. They sent you for me, huh? It's not like that. Feels a bit like that, Clark. Frankly, it's not been the best day. I just had a conversation with the president. Whatever this is, it's got to end. Right here and now. It seems the president of the United States of America believes I'm an international terrorist, an enemy of the state. And it also seems that Superman just became an enforcer for the White House. No, the president called me, but I came voluntarily to help. Telling me to stop this is helping. Standing in my way is helping. You don't even know what's going on here. I think I do, Arthur. I was told about the USS Pontchartrain, lost with all hands in the South Pacific, and right now, I can hear the rising hum of the Atlantean war fleet advancing into Chesapeake Bay. Arm the weapon systems. Rig for surface assault. I don't know if you can hear. That's my dog. She's doing the water sound effects. Good girl. That's just what I needed right then. We're a team. Like Aquaman. No, not like Aquaman and Mira. Let's not get all weird. Sorry. The king went to great pains to avoid conflict with the nations of the land, my lady regent. I am aware of that, Captain Siron. In good faith, I will always obey his wishes. But this is bad faith. The Americans have attacked him, hounded him, cornered him. Our king is under threat. Atlantis cannot tolerate this. I want to help. Then why aren't you helping? White House Situation Room. What's Superman doing, Sherman? Well, Mr. Gantry, he appears to be talking to... Why the hell isn't he laying those two lunatics out? Superman! Put him down for crying out loud! Problem? The Chief of Staff is losing patience with my approach here. Your approach. Here. It's very telling. Talking to you? Aiming to resolve this peacefully? If you'd come to help, you would be holding the army back so I could leave and resolve this crisis. without question, without hesitation. If you trusted me, you wouldn't be standing in my way. Let me help you. You need to answer for this. You can't leave. I can't leave? Whack! I'm a king. Damn. Boom. Okay, now we're cooking. Superman's so gonna stop this. Ugh. Step aside. I won't. Let me come with you to Atlantis and face this crisis. Perhaps you need help. He has help. Yeah. Did she just deck Big Blue? Girls got game. I've always tried to get past it. The beloved trinity of you, Diana, and Batman. Then the loyal and true trio of Lantern, Flash, and Cyborg, adored by the public. Then me, the Malwark on the outside. Ugh. The what? It's an Atlantean word for the rogue fish that doesn't turn obediently with the rest of the shoal. The black sheep. That's how you see yourself? That's how I see myself being seen. Atlantis had nothing to do with the loss of the Pontchartrain. I can't say this. Pontchartrain. Atlantis, it is. This is starting over. Atlantis had nothing to do with the loss of the Pontchartrain. Atlantis has attacked the surface before. Not on my watch. Never on my orders. Don't you think it's significant that this happens the same week I try to bring the nations of the land and sea closer together? You have enemies, Superman. What? How many times have your enemies tried to defeat you by making you look bad in the eyes of the world? And you're Superman. It's damn easier to discredit me. I'm the creepy fish guy nobody trusts. Not even my so-called friends in the Justice League. Deeds, not words, Arthur. I don't know how many millions of dollars worth of U.S. military equipment you wrecked getting this far, or how many servicemen you injured. Non-lethal force. Arthur insisted. Non-lethal force. Every step of the way. Every step of the way from breaking out of detention? I was trying to cooperate, to demonstrate peaceful intentions. Now I have to get back to the sea, find those responsible for engineering this crisis, pull us all back from the brink. Bam. I can't just let you go. Why not? You're both sons of other worlds. I thought you of all people would sympathize. Because Arthur was legally arrested under the Patriot Act. The U.S. wants him detained. If I let him go, there's no extradition with Atlantis. We have a responsibility to demonstrate that the Justice League... Sorry. It's weird bubble. It's weird... Anyways, sorry. We have a responsibility to demonstrate that the Justice League is not above the law. So let me come with you. I can call in the League. They would all want to help. Help the Malwark? Stop saying that. I want to undermine the hell out of me? Try and grasp it. I've got to do this. Me. For the good of Atlantis, I have to be the one to fix this. I'm protecting my kingdom, my family. I'm the king of Atlantis, Superman. Please give me a chance to show you what that means. Or there's no damn point of me existing at all. My God. Oh, man. So, peaceful intentions, huh? Don't be an idiot. Their king is under attack. Of course they'd come. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for me to say attack. Tula, Majesty? Hold your fire. Return to the water. We're done here. I've stopped this war. Now I'm going to prevent the next one. Are you going to stand in my way again? Fix this, or else. Antarctica. Ha 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 ha. Black Manta, you amuse me. You seem to be laboring under the illusion that if you join Nemo, you will have some say in its activities and objectives. Why wouldn't I? Blackjack mentioned you were bold. Sir, Nemo's agenda has been set for decades. It is a carefully structured program of global manipulation. No newcomer, however talented, will be allowed to come along with radical new ideas and disrupt our intricately designed program. Besides, we went to some trouble and expense to procure you. You could be an asset to our cause. An instrument. I have never served anyone. Get used to the idea. You may come to relish it. Otherwise, well, this conversation is over. Clearly. Schwack. Cock. Oh, he just stabs him in the throat. Jesus. Oh my God. What have you done? The king is dead, Blackjack. Long live the king. Any questions? Did I hear that right? The Atlantic. Were you just threatened by Superman? Yes. Was he serious? Absolutely. What does that mean? It means I really have to fix this. The end. Oh, Ron, you're the only one chatty tonight, but thank you for being so. He said Superman showing up, that's a bit much. I don't know if that's really a bit much. I think if you have someone of Aquaman's level, a Justice League person, quote unquote, wreaking havoc against the U.S. military, President calls Superman and says, yo, your boy is doing this shit. You know, what's going on? I think Superman's going to show up. Unless he's in the middle of doing something more important. Ronnie says, this shows how badass Aquaman is. He went toe-to-toe with Superman. I'm sure Superman was holding back. But yeah, no, Aquaman is more badass. And I really like that Dan Abnett is going out of his way to kind of address the bad reputation that Aquaman has as a character, like, oh, it's the guy who talks to fishes and all this stuff. I think he's really going out of his way to kind of frame it for new readers. Like, dude, this Aquaman, he's more badass than you gave him credit for. This isn't the character you thought he was. This isn't the Super Friends Aquaman. So, yeah, kudos to him. I mean, that's what he needed to do. That's the whole point of Rebirth, right? Is to rebirth these characters. There's some variant covers. Not a big fan of this art, so it's fine. I guess it's on a variant cover, but I'm glad they didn't use this on the main covers. Joshua Milton, man, he gave him a bunch of covers. Jeez. Oh, that's a kind of a cool shot, though. I like the composition. That's kind of interesting, too. I really like Brad Walker as an artist, but you can tell here he's like younger. Like his style has improved. He's most recently was on Detective Comics. When he's on the right book, he was really good for Batman, I thought. I really like Mira as a character. I like that she's rebellious. And she's kind of stubborn, but she's also, devoted to Aquaman. I think I prefer Briona's art on this Aquaman book over Brad Walker's. All right, there's the back cover. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. FFT says Aquaman is a king and a hero. He's being met oppositions left and right by his own people and by Nemo. Yeah. This is really cool. I think putting Aquaman, putting the Crisis being more than just like, oh, it's just some supervillain or some monster. You see that all the time in comic books, but making a crisis or a conflict be like politics, or governing a country, kingdom, what have you. Those are some things you don't get to see all the time, especially in the world of heroes. So I'm gonna like seeing Aquaman balance this. I'm very much looking forward to reading more. I hope you guys really liked it. Hopefully, if this is something you hadn't read before, it might inspire you to pick up the Rebirth Aquaman series, which, like I said, it's 43 issues. Counting the first Rebirth, the DC Rebirth issue, that's actually 44 issues. And then there's a 6-issue mini, 6-issue mini from Mira that I want to say occurs after the 5th volume chronologically. So that's 50 total issues of Dan Abnett's Aquaman. So that's quite a bit of a run. I'm definitely down. I'm going to be reading more of this, but we're going to be moving on to a new series for the Storytime stream Thursday. I haven't settled on what it is yet, so I guess there's still time to influence me. I do take cash or credit. Just kidding. Dragon Ball Talk is in the house. What's up, Dragon Ball? He says, is it over? Another story? I'm late. Sorry, buddy. Too much PlayStation for you. You missed out on the stories. Those good stories, too. Aquaman versus Superman and the U.S. Army. That's some good stuff. Pretty badass. And Black Manta being made into a boss. That's another thing Abnett did here. Is he took Black Manta and sort of elevated him from just oh, I'm a guy who wants to kick Aquaman's ass and kill him, into I've elevated into real world supervillain status. So that's kind of cool. FF2 says that if the volume of Berserk hooks you in, we get some answers to the questions, the relationship between certain characters and the origin of our MC in the Golden Age. Why he's like that? Wait, what? The origin of our MC in the Golden Age. There's a Golden Age in Berserk? What? I don't know. Okay, that part confused me. Marani says you should stop after issue 42. It as 43 starts that run of She Who Must Not Be Named. Yeah, I thought 43 was the last, but I guess maybe 42 was the last. So that means it's 49 issues total you get to read. Yeah, after reading this, I still don't understand why DC? Why would you put Kelly Sue DeConnick on a perfectly everyone that was buying Aquaman? I did not see one single complaint about this book when it was coming out, right? The only negatives I ever heard about this book were by people who weren't reading it. People like myself who were just prejudiced against Aquaman because he thought he was the stupid fish boy, right? Like, but the people reading the book, they're like, oh, they were like simps for Aquaman. They were like, you gotta read, it's so good, read the Aquaman. It was like me with Hawkman. They're like, they got a kindred spirit between the two. They're both maligned characters and discarded, and people don't think that they're cool, so they go for Batman and stuff all the time. But good writing is good writing. So yeah, I'm definitely down for more. Melissa says she's got to get going. Have a great night. Well, good to see you, Melissa. I hope you enjoyed some good Aquaman stories with free from politics and not nonsense that you don't like. So yeah, take care. I'm gonna get going too, probably. I guess there's not a lot of chit chat tonight. I guess you guys aren't very talkative, but that's fine. Keep the streams a little bit tighter. Sometimes I get really long at the tooth and keep blabbing and probably bore you guys to death. You're like, I'm here for the story, monkey. I know Dragon Ball Talk just wants the stories. So we're going to go ahead and call that. FF2 says, I hate the limited typing. The first volume of Berserk gets you hooked. Read it and you'll understand. All right. That's all I was asking, is if the first volume, uses a yes or no question. Really. I get it. I've been in the chat room many times too, and you're like, I could just do so much better in the mic. But yeah, I try to ask like simple questions, yes or no's. I don't want you guys to have to type essays to answer me. Okay. So first volume, you'll know whether or not to continue, whether or not it's for you. Cause I'm, you guys know me. I'm a very picky guy already. Like I'm very picky. I don't get to read as much as I want or watch as much as I want to do. So I want everything that I do read or watch or partake in, I want it to be the best of the best because of that. And so I don't read hardly any manga at all. So the manga that I do read, if it's just pretty good, I'm probably not going to continue it because I just don't have enough time. And that's not necessarily a fault of the manga. Some people just devote a lot more time to reading manga, and so they can afford to open up their restrictions or whatever to be like, hey, I'll even read the pretty good stuff, not just the best of the best. And plus I can kind of tell from reading, like skimming through the Berserk I have in the past, that this is not going to be something for everybody. And I'm already that way with manga anyway. That's so many mangas I don't read because the subject matter is like, yeah, I'm sure the people who love this like it, but I just don't really care to read about this particular type of story. And again, that's just taste. No one's fault. All right. So what should I do next week? Or sorry, Thursday. I don't even know what to read. You guys can find me on Discord. Information's down below. You guys should join the Discord server if you're not already on there. You can follow me on Twitter, Ash1138. Leave me suggestions on what you would like to see be read on a live stream. Typically, 4 to 6 issue series work best. It has to be something that I either have or is on Comixology Unlimited, because I don't want to have to go buy things. Or occasionally people have donated stuff to me, and I'm usually very predisposed. If you want or willing to donate a book to be read, I can definitely, I would do that, because, you're sort of paying for it at that point. So yeah, I haven't really figured out what it's going to be. But if I don't get any suggestions, I'll figure something out, and hopefully you like it, because I try not to read bad stuff, unless it's bad stuff on purpose to laugh at it. But there's not even that good of funny bad stuff anymore these days. Most of it's just like depressingly bad. So I'm gonna get into here. Remember, guys, as always, #ReadGoodComics. Spread the word. If you have good comics that you're reading, share it, word of mouth. Over and over. Just keep repeating the books that you like. It's an industry that's really rough. It doesn't get very good marketing. Some of the best books languish at the bottom. Marvel's best book, Daredevil, barely sells anything because Daredevil's not a popular character. It doesn't matter if it's got one of the best artists and writers over at Marvel working on it. People would rather buy Spider-Man books. It's like, what are you going to do? Or buy X-Men books. So you gotta spread that out. Share that enthusiasm. It's infectious. People do want to read great stuff. They want to read what everyone's excited about, and so the books I'm excited about, books like Firepower. That's a great book. I'm really enjoying the new Scott Snyder book, Nocturna. In the back issues, one of the most recent things I've read is the Jupiter's Legacy series. I recommend that highly. Just make sure you start on the renumbered version is volume 3, one with the two kids on the cover, the guy and the girl in the black and white, standing in front of the statues. That one. Read that one first. Even though it's labeled volume 3, it's not. It's actually the first one that came out. They renumbered it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to direct you on the reading order. That's a fantastic series. Absolutely loved it to death. And trying to think of what else is blowing me away. I don't want to give you too many recommendations, so you guys give recommendations of your own. And I guess don't forget to Criminal Cast tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Cruel Summer. And I will see you there. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. And read good comics again. Bye.